top focus this hour is some big breaking news coming in from the Supreme Court of India. This is a huge development when it pertains to same-sex marriages and their legal recognition in this country. The top court bench, led by none other than the Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, says that it's going to examine the issue regarding providing legal recognition to same-sex marriages in this country. Right now, marriages amongst opposite gender is recognized. Same-sex marriages are not recognized in this country. The Supreme Court bench, as I said, headed by CJI D.Y. Chandrachud, has sought response from the central government. Attorney General, the top law officer of the government, has to come forward and give his views to the court, to assist the court to frame the issues, to see how it can move forward. The top court has also asked the centre to file response in the next 4 weeks. This comes after a new PIL was filed before the Supreme Court of India by two gay men living in Hyderabad seeking recognition of same-sex marriages under the Special Marriage Act 1954. This is an issue which has been pending in multiple high courts, including the Kerala High Court and the Delhi High Court. It was expected that this matter should be finally adjudicated by the Supreme Court of India. Our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar with us on the broadcast. Ananya, a huge development.
Well, definitely, Anusha, this matter has been already pending before a lot of high courts, especially when we talk of the Delhi High Court. It had considered this matter and it heard it at length at this point of time. And if I correctly remember, the petitions are placed in February or January 2023 for hearing. Remember, there was also an application in the Delhi High Court with regards to live streaming of these petitions pertaining to same-sex marriage. But now, the latest development, the big development that has come in is that the Supreme Court has said that it will examine the issue of providing legal recognition to the same-sex marriages. If you remember, the central government in its initial time when the matter was heard by the Delhi High Court, it had said that under the Hindu Marriage Act, it cannot be done that because it pertains to a specific religion, and then it is not allowed under the Hindu Marriage Act. But then a petition was moved which said that under the Special Marriage Act, such a provision should be created so that same-sex marriages can be recognized. Because remember, and interestingly, the Supreme Court bench headed by CJI D.Y. Chandrachud is going to hear these petitions. Attorney General of India, Mr. R. Venkatramaiah, has been asked to appear before, in fact, the Supreme Court. Response has also been sought from the central government over these petitions. 4 weeks time has been granted so that a response can be filed by the central government. And Anusha, a very, very interesting point that you will also agree with me on is that it is Justice D.Y. Chandrachud who was a part of the bench that has, in fact, decriminalized homosexuality. He had provided, in fact, the rights for the LGBTQ plus community, and in fact now in the abortion rights judgment too, Justice Chandrachud, while he had started off with the judgment in that particular case, he had said, in my opinion, women in this judgment would not only mean the cisgender woman, but would also include those who identify from various other pronouns and also be considered as women. So somebody who has dealt with this issue, somebody who has dealt with the various parts of homosexuality is going to hear this petition. So it would be not only very, very interesting, but also very, very significant when the Chief Justice of India, Justice Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, would be taking up all of these matters. And it would be very, very interesting to see at what kind of observations would be coming in from the bench and what kind of arguments are put on from the other side of the dais. Anusha.
As you pointed out, Ananya, that this issue is already pending before two high courts in the country, at least two that I know of, which is the Delhi High Court and the Kerala High Court. And in these cases as well, the response of the union government is something that has been awaited, what they have to say about this matter. When the Attorney General of India speaks next, it is expected that they are likely to spell out what the union government thinks on this case, because we have seen in a lot of countries across the world, especially in democratic jurisdictions, that it has been judiciary which has been very forthcoming in recognizing same-sex marriages. The orthodoxy of most religions don't want same-sex marriages, or what you loosely call gay marriages, to be recognized in the country in any jurisdiction.
Well, definitely, it's rightly pointed out, and we are awaiting a response from the central government before the topmost court of the country. And I was pointing out earlier as well that when these petitions had come before the Delhi High Court, a response was filed by the central government that under the Hindu Marriage Act it cannot be allowed. However, with regards to the Special Marriage Act, the Union government, if I correctly remember, had said that it will be examined by the Law Commission as well, and it would be examined by the Law Commission, so that because there is so much of diversity and religion and personal laws existing in the country, that it has to be studied from all the angles, and the Law Commission of India is the correct body which would actually be hearing, which would actually be studying all of this, and then a response could be given.
Yep.
A larger consultation is required, if I remember correctly, was
Yep.
said by the central government before the Delhi High Court. But what would be coming up before the topmost court of the country would be very, very important, because it would not only be a holistic response from the central government, but it would be coming out from the mouth of the topmost law officer of the country, Attorney General of India, R. Venkatramani. But also it would be before one of those judges who has dealt with this issue, who knows this issue
Yep.
very well, somebody who is in fact given out to be one of the most liberal judges of the topmost court of the country, and has already dealt not only with the decriminalization of homosexuality, but has also dealt with it on the part of abortion rights to all of the genders or not. So something very, very interesting coming up before the Supreme Court. After 4 weeks, we will get to know what the centre has to say on this, and what would the bench be saying.
It was a
these
historic
petitions.
moment in the Supreme Court when, in a curative petition, the Supreme Court took up the issue of decriminalization of homosexuality in this country. It was first decriminalized by the Delhi High Court, then the decision was overturned by the Supreme Court of India, and then in an eventual curative petition, the Supreme Court said that Section 377 needs to be read down to understand that same-sex the sexual intercourse between same genders is not an offence recognized under Section 377. And now we are moving forward on a different trajectory altogether. This is about giving partners or people who are from the LGBTQ community who want to enter the institution of marriage similar rights like heterosexual couples. Is it time to recognize